are in those areas, you need to be in your safe place right now. This, let me see. Okay. Dang it, come on. Oh, no wonder. Oh, yeah. Yes.
From your weather authority, this is a KNOE 8 News Severe Weather Alert.
West of Oak Grove, and it is again tracking towards the northeast at 45 miles per hour. I do want to put a track on this storm. If you're in Fisk, Concord, as well as Kilburn, you need to be in your safe place now. Lowest interior part of your home, away from windows, a helmet, pillow, or anything like that, or taking shelter in a bathroom. All of those are great places to take shelter within this storm. It is producing heavy rainfall, and so it is rain wrapped if there is a tornado that is produced with this storm. Right now it's only a radar indicated storm. It's not confirmed yet, but we hope as we go throughout the afternoon that it isn't confirmed. But right now we do have a warning that is in place. The storm again towards the northeast for Morehouse Parish. If you're in Concord, Kilburn, as well as Fisk, you need to be in your safe place right now. Abby, do you have any information to give us?
Well, I know the National Weather Service, before we hopped on earlier, said that there was the possibility of a rotating wall cloud within this storm, so something to keep in mind. And also, we're seeing some smaller hail that is continuing to fall within this storm. So as we put a hail track on things, it's currently showing that we have about, I think, pea-sized hail continuing to fall. Yeah, pea-sized hail continuing to fall within the storm. It's the possibility that we could see some larger amounts of hail as we go further into this afternoon as the storm continues to progress off towards the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So as we put a track on the storm, the greatest potential for heavy downpours, lightning and hail, and the possibility of a tornado is currently located close to LA Highway 585, moving off towards the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So as we put that track on there, 2 p.m. for Concord, 2:08 for Terry, 2:15 for Kilbourne, and 2:15 for Wards. Also Eudora at 2:27 p.m. and 80 at 2:38 p.m. and 2:43 for Hardwood. So if you are located in any of those communities, make sure you're in your safe place with something that you can cover your head with, likely a helmet, or like DeVonte mentioned, a pillow possible as the storm continues to progress off towards the north and the east. If you remember earlier, about an hour ago, we were live cutting in for a storm in Jackson and Washita Parish that showed a possible tornado with it, radar indicated storm. This is that same storm that's continued to move off towards the north and the east. It has regained some intensity as it has moved closer towards the Morehouse, East and West Carroll Parish line, and we are watching for some possible rotation within this storm. So as I step back, you can see that rotation is beginning to develop. It's broad at this time, but it's near LA Highway 585, moving towards the Oak Grove community. So if you are located anywhere along that line near Oak Grove, be in your safe place, be ready as a possible tornado is headed your way. Now, DeVonte, do you have any updates with this storm?
No updates exactly right now, and no information from the National Weather Service other than we just still have this tornado warning in place until 2:45. We have that cell tracking towards the north and east, and so like Abby mentioned, if you are in the path of this storm, you need to be in your safe place right now, lowest interior part of your home. It is, again, radar indicated. There is no confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but that does not mean that one cannot be dropped at any moment. And that's why it's best to be in your safe place within this warning as this storm tracks towards the north and the east.
Yes, like DeVonte mentioned, be in your safe place, lowest level, interior, away from windows. If you can get there, I would get there very soon as the storm continues to push off towards the north and the east. It's moving at 45 miles per hour right now. And again, this is the same storm that we tracked through portions of Jackson and Ouachita Parish earlier today that did produce a tornado possible, radar indicated earlier. It has not been confirmed, but this is the same storm. It has regained intensity, and what we're likely seeing this warning issued for is this area of broad rotation that's moving closer to the Oak Grove community near LA Highway 585, moving closer to LA Highway 17. So once again, if you are located in any of those communities near the Kilbourne, Oak Grove, Forest communities, you want to be in your safe place. Be prepared, away from windows, lowest interior room. Now, as we take a wider view of what's going on, this is part of that discrete cell that was moving through earlier. That comes just ahead of this line of stronger storms we've got situated just off towards our north and our west. We'll continue to see this line push eastward throughout the rest of the afternoon, and that possibly could bring us the threat for more tornadoes as this line continues to progress into our area. So we still do have the possibility of active severe weather for the rest of the night. We do have an active tornado watch now extended until 9 p.m. for the entire Arklamas. All of our eastern parishes are included in this now. So the entire Arklamas under a tornado watch until 9 p.m. Now they'll likely let this go as that line continues to push eastward, but still we're going to be watching for the potential for some stronger storms to continue to move through our area as we go into this afternoon. So as we turn things back over to DeVonte. DeVonte, do you have any more updates for us?
No more updates at this hour. We're still monitoring, though, that tornado warning that is in place for parts of Morehouse Parish. And if you are in, again, that warning, you need to be in your safe place. And we also have that warning, of course, extending into West and East Carroll parishes until 2:45. That system is tracking towards the northeast, as we've been mentioning, at 45 miles per hour. So it's a fast moving system, which means that you do not have time to sightsee or step outdoors and lollygag. Right now is the time to be in your safe place. Again, this is radar indicated, so there is no confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but given how fast this system is moving, and also given that we do have an environment that's ripe for tornadoes, it is best that you get in your safe place right now. I do want to pull up velocity so we could see the rotation that we've been talking about right now, looking at the scopes. If I can select it here, we have the game. The box is blocking that, so I'm going to step off screen just so I can pull up the rotation that we are talking about. It's really broad, and that's what we want to see. We do not want to see tight rotation with this system, but what we look for is usually red and green shadings that signifies rotation within the atmosphere. And right now, we really don't see much of that with this system. Abby, are you seeing anything with this system?
Not really. I know in our National Weather Service chat, they have just dropped a photo showing what looks to be a wall cloud in West Carroll Parish. This is likely where we're seeing that slight rotation in that storm. So if you are in West Carroll Parish, I want you to be in your safe place, away from windows, lowest level of your home, likely with something to cover your head as you get ready to prepare for this strong storm that's about to move through.
And as we also been talking about more storms back off towards the west, this is not even the main line that is moving through. We have more showers and storms that are continuing to track towards the east, but right now our main focus is this tornado warning that is in effect for parts of Morehouse, East and West Carroll parishes until 2:45. And again, it's just broad rotation with this system, which is again always good to see broad rotation and not tight rotation with these systems. But still, it is something worth watching over the next several minutes across these areas. Notice it's producing heavy rainfall, and so you will not see anything if you are stepping out the door. And so that's why it's just best to be indoors, away from windows, lowest interior part of your home. I want to track over that way. Clicker is not working, but again, if you are in these areas, you need to be in your safe place right now until this storm passes. Abby?
Well, DeVonte, I have been watching this storm on radar over here off air for the past few minutes, and it looks like this storm is becoming a little bit more defined on a velocity. So as we can see that where those reds and greens are beginning to combine just off towards the northwest from Oak Grove, that's the area of rotation that we're beginning to watch. Now, this is not a confirmed tornado, but we have a radar indicated tornado moving through portions of West Carroll Parish right now. We're continuing to watch this active storm as it pushes off towards the north and the east. So as we take a little bit look at the inside of the storm, it's showing that it's still likely producing some smaller hail, not as large as what we were seeing earlier, about pea size, if not smaller. So that is a good sign that the storm may be weakening as it moves off towards the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So as we put a track on this storm, once again, it's moving off towards the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So as we put that track on there, we're talking about places like Concord at 2:01 p.m., Kilbourne 2:12, Eudora at 2:21 p.m., Chatham at 2:31 p.m., Lakeport 2:36, and then Avalon at 2:41 p.m., and then Hollandale at 2:51. Once again, in this active tornado warning, it goes until 2:45 p.m. this afternoon, and DeVonte and I will stay on with you until this warning has been issued or let go, as we continue to follow updates from the National Weather Service out of Jackson on what's going on with this storm. Now, once again, we are continuing to watch for the threat for more active weather as we head into tonight. Once again, the entire arc limit is underneath this tornado watch until 9 p.m. as this line of strong storms moves through. That main line is beginning to push into the arc limits right now. We are beginning to see more thunderstorm warnings issued with this main line just ahead of these, just behind these discrete cells that we had moved through earlier today. Once again, this active tornado warning, we've been tracking it since it moved through portions of Jackson and Ouachita Parish and had a tornado warning on it. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about today's storm risk. Today, they have really expanded that risk for much of the arc limits. If you remember yesterday, only the northeastern half of the area was underneath this enhanced risk, which is a level 3 out of 5. They've really moved that risk more towards the entire arc limits. The entire arc limit is pretty much underneath that enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk for today. So more strong storms will be possible as we head into this afternoon. But as we go back to this active warning, once again, possibly some small hail still falling with it. There may be a active wall cloud within this storm, so storm's likely rotating. So as we take a closer look at velocity, it's still showing some broad signs of rotation, nothing too definitive right now. It's likely beginning to cycle, which means it's beginning to weaken and then increase once again. Once again, we're watching this area of rotation right here where those reds and greens come together near Louisiana Highway 586. So if you are located near that area, the storm is moving off towards the northeast, being your safe place, lowest level interior spot of your home. Now, DeVonte, do you have any more updates for us?
No, let me see. Where is, okay, just monitoring the weather chat and not hearing anything else regarding this system. We just still have this tornado warned storm that is tracking towards the north and east until 2:45. Well, this warning is in place until 2:45. Again, I want to reiterate, it's a fast moving storm. So when you hear the sound of my voice and I say, get in your safe place, you want to get in your safe place with urgency. Right now, we're not seeing any tight rotation, which is, again, great news, but it is still a tornado warrant storm due to some broad rotation that is in the area. So that is something that we will continue to monitor on air and online until this warning expires.
Okay, thank you, DeVonte, for that information. Once again, like he mentioned, continuing to track this active tornado warning that we have for portions of West Carroll Parish until about 2:45 this afternoon. It's moving off towards the north and east at 45 miles per hour. So as we put a track on this storm, we're talking about places like Frisk at 2:04 p.m., Terry 2:18, Kilbourne at 2:25 p.m. and then Reedland at 2:37 p.m., 80 at 2:44 p.m., and then Chatham at 2:48. Now, some of those places I did read off are after the 2:45 cutoff. But the strong storm is still moving towards there, whether or not it's a tornado or possible or not. It's still going to be a strong storm once it moves into your location. So as we take a zoomed out view, let's take a wider view of what's going on. So active tornado warning for portions of West Carroll Parish, and then we've got this long line of storms that's just off towards our north and our west. This is continuing to progress eastward. We could see the possibility of more active weather as this continues to move into the Arklamas. We do have some active severe thunderstorm warnings along this line. So places like Union Parish, Farmville, you're in that warning, Lincoln Parish, Jackson Parish, and Washita Parish as well, all in this warning just along the line. So it looks like we are going to move off of the on air and move towards streaming services. So if you are still in this warning and you want to continue to follow us, we'll be on live on Facebook and streaming on our app. So we're going to turn back to regular programming, full screen here on KNOE and KAQI. So we'll turn back to that, but we'll continue to track this once again on our streaming platforms. So as we take a look at the velocity scan of this storm, we're still seeing some broader rotation with this storm.
So Abby, so I do have some an update coming from the National Weather Service Jackson office. They said it's showing less potential and the wall cloud is finally gone. They're not planning on any downstream warning at this time.
Okay, thank you for that information, DeVonte. So it looks like this tornado warning may be coming to an end sooner rather than later, as it still does show some broad signs of rotation just north of Oak Grove, moving towards Kilbourne at this time. That's where that likely rotation is, but we still do have the severe potential to see more storms going into this afternoon along this main line that continues to progress off towards the east. So as we turn towards the track of this strong storm, even if it has weakened slightly and is no longer likely producing a tornado, we're still to track it out off towards the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Still a strong storm, making it to Frisk at 2:07, Terry at 2:25, Chickasaw at 2:28 p.m., and then Kilbourne High School at 2:38, and then we have Reedland at 2:48, and then 80 at 2:58. DeVonte, do you have any more updates for us?
No more updates. They did mention about the focus on the the line near Farmerville that is pushing east into our area. So that is something that we have to monitor, and that is that strong line of storms that are pushing towards the east. You can see it right there on Doppler 8 radar, what you're showing right there.
Yes, like DeVonte mentioned, still watching the potential of this back line to produce some stronger storms. What he's mentioned, Farmerville, Ruston, places like that, you're currently under a severe thunderstorm warning as this line continues to progress off towards the east. We could see some damaging wind gusts, possibility of hail as well. Let's see, currently we're not seeing much in the way of hail inside these storms, maybe some smaller pea-sized hail along these storms that are moving through the western half of the area, but still be on alert for active weather as we head into this afternoon. And as we still do have that active tornado watch that goes until 9 p.m. for the entire arc limits tonight. So DeVonte, anything you would like to add?
No other information regarding this tornado warning. Like you mentioned not long ago, it is possible that it will end earlier than what we expect, and that's simply because, as you can see right here on velocity imagery, we don't see much of a rotation with this cell. The rotation is very broad, and also another thing to point out, although it is showing broad rotation, we have to keep in mind that there is a radar beam, and this is the outline of that radar beam, so it's a lot of noise with it, so you really cannot see much in terms of rotation, but it was already, before making it further towards the north and east, showing signs of a weakening or broad rotation, which, as I mentioned, that is something that we want to see with this cell. But we're staying on line with you, tracking this tornado warned storm until this storm weakens in those areas.
Okay, DeVonte, we're going to wrap on TV, live on TV, but we're going to continue on streaming services, Facebook, and our app, tracking this warning out until 2:45 p.m.
This has been a KNOE 8 News Severe Weather Alert.